Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I have a special guest with us this week. I can't wait for him to share with you about his story, his success, and what he's all about. Seth, say hello to the audience.
Hi, Tony. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Of course, a big warm welcome from me and also the audience as well. So let's dive right into it. Let's start with the one word open, Seth. If you could share with us that one word we were just talking about, the whole thing. What's that one word that you're feeling right now in this
Well, my
moment?
mantra is usually present. And I would say right now that's key. A lot of our time is spent thinking in the past what we would have done differently or thinking of the future, what we want to do. And being present and focused is the best gift you can give.
I love that. And let's go right into business. So let's talk about your business. Tell us about what you do, your why, how you got started, where you are, where you're going. I know that could be explained over, lunch or even 3 or half a day, 3 hours or half a day. But if we could just get high level, that would be great.
Absolutely. So I am the CEO and co-founder of Hologenix. We're a life science company and we make health and wellness products. And our flagship product is Celliant. It's an IR responsive textile, which we can get into what that means. And we make that product by using thermo-reactive minerals that are embedded into textiles. And then it's extruded into fabric. And the result is that you can increase circulation and blood flow naturally. And we have a myriad of products that it can go into, such as clothing, obviously, bedding, but also any type of furniture, car seats, transportation, wraps, braces, anything that has a textile component. And we're really fortunate to work with some of the leading brands. Our partnerships include Under Armour, Levi, Costco, Amazon, Bear Mattress, and you'll see a lot more things coming soon.
That's really great. What was that moment you had when you came up with the concept and you decided to go to market? When was that, and what was the turning point?
Well, for me, understanding that our technology improves local circulation and blood flow, and that it helps with tissue oxygenation, that ability and that claim set was fascinating to me. And to be able to do it in a healthy environment without any medication or any side effects really inspired me to found the company with the inventor. And we've been on a journey to bring this technology to market since 2002.
Wow, you're super patient.
It's taken a lot of persistence. I didn't really understand how the lift for the science, how hard that would be to really show the medical community without a doubt that our technology does what we say it does.
That's really great. Let's talk about the other side of that. So can you share with us something that's, not so much of a win, and when you went down that path, and also when you were experiencing that or dealing with it, what did you learn from that, Seth?
Absolutely. And that's one you can go down the rabbit hole on. There's a lot of things that we'd all do differently. I think for us, when we launched the company, we thought we had this holistic product. And so we called it holofiber, holistic fiber. But depending on your diction and what part of the United States you grew up in, you would pronounce that hollow fiber. And so people thought it was a hollow fiber when actually it's not, and we're putting minerals in. So we had to rebrand and start over and launch it as Celliant. So there's a lot of lessons to be learned there and trying to understand exactly what the right word is for the people that you want to market to. And that wasn't an easy process to really shift the name of your product. But I think that was something that ultimately was the right decision.
Wonderful. And I wanted to shift the gears a little bit to the impact that you're making for people. So if you could give, I know you make a difference for a lot of people. Is there top three that stick out that are outliers? And if you could share with us at a high level, like what happened, what was the issue and how you helped them out, and then what was the transformation afterwards?
Absolutely, absolutely, and thank you for that question, because for me, we all have to have a vocation, and we have to earn money, and to be able to help people while doing that is something that really resonated with me and continues to resonate. And the testimonials and the feedback we get from people make the effort worth it. And what's really fascinating about our bodies is they're incredibly inefficient as a machine. So there's this opportunity to improve and optimize our body. And whether you're a couch potato or Tom Brady, any type of improvement is going to be meaningful. And for us right now, we're really trying to continue to push into the medical space. We have to be very careful with our claim set. Right now, the FDA has cleared us, or made this determination rather, for healthy people to improve local circulation and blood flow. But our next study is on diabetics, people that have pressure injuries or foot ulcers. We've done some preliminary studies that we published on diabetic people, on people with foot neuropathy. There's all types of applications for people that have a challenged circulatory system. So it could be Raynaud's, it could be rheumatoid arthritis, could be a bed sore. Really, any patient or any person that could benefit from improved circulation is going to be interested in our technology.
Wonderful. And for that leader that's listening to this right now, whether they're working out, driving, or watching this on YouTube, or however they're, whatever platform they're using to consume this content and the value that you're giving, if you could share one piece of advice for the person listening to this when it comes to, you know, being a great leader, what would that be from your experience?
Well, you know, when you started with that question, I was thinking about what the real value in the technology is in terms of just being able to support the body's health and function. And if you look at the history of our understanding of human physiology, you know, it started out with feats of strength, you know, the ancient Olympics in Greece, and having athletes show how far they could run or jump or what they could lift. And then over time, we realized the importance of nutrition, and we really understood that you have to take care of the body. In the last 20 or 30 years, we've started to understand sleep is critical. It doesn't matter how hard you work out and how well you eat if you're not getting enough sleep. And we think the next evolution is energy, and how the body produces energy and how we can harness that energy and make an impact on people's quality of life. As far as being a leader, and if somebody's listening and what that means, I think really being a good leader is getting out of the way and allowing your team to feel confident in themselves and have the encouragement for them to step out and make their own decisions, and support them when maybe it didn't go exactly the right way, and offer advice if it's needed, and just have a clear direction and roadmap for them to be in place so that they can execute on their own.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that with us as well. So the next question I want to ask you, just let me know the first thing that pops in my head. Before I ask you the question, are you an audiobook person or a book person? Do you read books on Kindle?
I do
or
both. I grew up with a newspaper. I'm still making the transition to audiobooks, but I like the tactile experience of the book. So I have books that I'm reading, and then I do audio in the car.
Awesome. So with that said, here comes the question. What's your favorite ultimate book?
Well, I'd have to, it's hard. You know, there's books on how to be a good leader, how to run your business, how to, you know, get the most out of your day. I'm a big fan of the 5 a.m. club. And then there's you know, nonfiction history books. I love learning about our country and the world and what's happened. And then there's books where you want to escape and kind of lose yourself. And I'd say the one that always pops in my mind is The Alchemist.
Interesting. Okay. I'll have to check that out. That's really great. How do you do the 5 a.m. club? I know a lot of people, you know, speak to it, and they highly recommend it. But when 5 o'clock rolls around, my eyes are still tired, and I'm like, you know what? Another hour will go a long ways for someone like me. But how do you? I know even though I have the drive, but sometimes at 5 a.m. I got to be honest with you, it's a little hard. How do you do it with 5 a.m.?
It's a lot easier in the summers. Yeah, it's harder in the winters. You know, it's everything's about preparation and mental mindset. If you're going to bed at 10 or midnight, it's not going to work. But if you can get to bed and train your body that you want to have the lights off and start winding down around 8:30 and be asleep by 9, you know, you're going to have a good 6-7 hours of sleep. You can pop up at 4:30, get 4 or 5 hours of work in, and the rest of the world's just getting up.
Absolutely. And what would you tell yourself if you're your 21-year-old self? What would you, if you could go back in time and say, hey, do this stuff, what would that be?
For me personally, be slow down, take a breath, probably refocus myself. I've started a lot of businesses and jumped around trying to figure out my passion, but I think that's all part of you know, life and the journey. I don't know that I do that any differently. but just to really tell myself to believe in myself and to follow my heart and my passion.
I love it. I could tell that's super authentic. So I appreciate that. And if our listeners wanted to find out more information or connect with you, or if they simply have a question about this conversation, how could they find out more information?
Well, again, our technology is called Celliant, Celliant. So they can go to Celliant.com and check out our technology, or send us an email at hello@Celliant.com.
Perfect. I'll be sure to put that in the show notes for our listeners as well. So here we are, sadly, to the end. If you could sign us off with a one-word close, Seth, what would that be and why?
I'd say namaste. And that's because it means that I recognize the divine in you, and I appreciate the opportunity to be on here and share my story, a little piece of my story. And it's a great opportunity for us. So thank you, Tony.
Thank you very much. That was deep, and I really appreciate that. And I'm very grateful for your time, and looking forward to having you back on here soon.
Thank you, sir.